ahead on Early Birds. The Falcons start their season with a game that very well could shape the division race.
35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, drive home safely.
We'll break it all down with Shock in the film room talking Mike Evans, a one-on-one sit-down with Bijan Robinson, and we'll ask if North Carolina needs a plan BB after a Week 1 flop.
I'm telling you, bro, game day, I'm not missing.
That and more coming your way on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin. Regular season number 6. Can you believe it, man?
Unbelievable. Can't believe we're finally here. Finally get some Falcon action, man. We've been clamoring for it for a long time. We finally gonna get it tomorrow.
We got a lot to talk about. No better way to start things off than with the opening drive. Falcons and the Buccaneers, 1 p.m. tomorrow right here on Fox 5. And Shock, it's Michael Penix Jr.'s world. We are just living in it. What do you expect? What are you watching for in Week 1?
You saw what happened, what he said in the game. I'm not missing. I expect Michael Penix to come out blazing. This is a guy who has been preparing for this opportunity since last season. He was picked number 8 for a reason. The Falcons love him. They talk about all the intangibles he has with his arm strength, his ability to move. He's got weapons around him. I expect everything to live up to the hype in game 1. And, you know, it's good you're starting out the bat with the division foe, so there's no time to be trying to ease into it. It's time for Michael Penix to have a big-time day, and I'm expecting that.
So we didn't see him in the preseason, but Penix says he is up for this moment.
I feel ready. You know, I'm ready to go. You got to be. You know, it's no other choice. And I pride myself into make sure that each and every week I'm always ready, you know, come game day. So I'm going to do whatever I can for the rest of this week to make sure that, you know, I'm ready physically, mentally to go out there and put on my best performance.
We're ready, too, as we continue on the opening drive. A group of players we did see extensively in the preseason that we're going to see a lot of tomorrow. The Falcons rookies on defense. Jalen Walker, James Pierce, starter Xavier Watts, starter Billy Bowman. But, Shock, you a little worried that they're going to be leaning so much on rookies?
I'm not worried, but, of course, there's going to be some instances where things don't go right. There's going to be instances where these guys may get beat. But there's also going to be times you're going to say, I see why these guys are starters. I see why they went out and drafted 4 guys on the defensive side. I cannot wait to see how they feel the void. But here's the great thing about it. They got a lot of veterans around them that's going to help them when it comes to their production, when it comes to getting them in the right spots. So I expect them to have an up and down Week 1, but I expect them to also shine, too, and make some plays. Here's Xavier Watts, who will line up as the starting safety alongside that guy, Jesse Bates.
Every time I step into this locker room, it's kind of crazy. And like, I'm really in the NFL. It kind of hits me every day, and I'm just so blessed and thankful to, you know, truly have this opportunity. But at the same time, you know, I put in a lot of work to get here, so I don't want to think too big of it and mess myself up or overlook it.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, Tampa Bay always stout up front. They had Hassan Reddick in free agency off the edge. Falcons going to be protecting without Caleb McGarry. Elijah Wilkinson, DJ, is going to start at right tackle. So how does this affect what Atlanta wants to do on offense?
I think it will have a little effect. I think they've had a couple weeks to kind of get used to not having Caleb McGarry. So the offense will be dictated on what are the things we can do really well. What does Elijah Wilkinson do well? What are some of the things that we can do to help him on the outside? So I expect there to be, a little concern here and there. But I think they will do a good job of finding creative ways offensively to protect him, but also get this offense moving.
It'll be an area to watch, to be sure. Well, welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder. And it is ridiculous to talk playoffs in Week 1, but we are ridiculous people, so we're going to do it just a little bit. Falcons and Bucks, they're popular picks, right? Maybe the Buccaneers more so to win the NFC South. Buccaneers defending champs. So tomorrow could be huge. We could be talking about this in Week 18.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We all know the success that Tampa's had over the last few years, but everybody feels the Falcons are right there on their heels. They got a lot of guys who are in this roster who they feel like, you know what, they're right there. They're going to be the difference makers to get us over that hump. So you're right. Tomorrow could be the difference between who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't.
Did you know the Falcons and Bucks have played 63 times? Tampa Bay's won 31. The Falcons have won 32.
Ooh, let's make it 33.
Interesting stat. One guy trying to help make it 33. The human video game Bijan Robinson accounted for nearly 1,900 yards from scrimmage last year and usually good for at least one. He did what? Moment per game. Excited to see what year 3 brings for Bijan, and he sat down one-on-one with our Kelly Price this week.
Well, in week one, you start with a big one, obviously divisional opponent right off the bat, four-time defending champs of the division. How much does it kind of raise the juice that that's the first game that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge because, like, obviously that's a game where you got to win. Every game you got to win.
Right.
But, you know, for them being our first matchup and you know, the guys that kind of been leading the division for you know, some years now, like, we can't wait to go out there. I can't wait to go out there and play against them again because, you know, that's you know, a standard that we want to you know, beat those guys.
What do you feel like is different this year for the Atlanta Falcons?
Just our confidence. That's such a big thing, like, that I've been saying. Like, you know, my first 2 years, you know, you kind of seen it, you kind of felt it, but like sometimes it wasn't all the way there. Offense, you know, defense, like we had new coaching staff, we had new this, new that, so like everybody was kind of on a string. But now it's like, nah. Like we understand what we got. We understand what we're trying to do, and you know, we're taking it 1 week at a time. We do it like that, then we'll win as many games as we want. So I think just our confidence is extremely high right now, and we're just ready to go out there and prove it because, you know, a lot of talk, you know, that stuff kind of dries up, and I think that's like dead conversation because you got to see what we do on the field. You're
not the first person to say we want to prove it. Like everyone keeps saying that. That feels like a big message that you guys are kind of bringing home.
You know, we're big time underdogs. We understand that, and you know, we haven't won what we want to win in a long time here. So, you know, I'm not going to just sugarcoat anything. Like, you know, we haven't been to the playoffs in a long time. We haven't, you know, done the goals that we want to do in a long time. So for us, like, you know, it gets kind of, I know for me personally, like, it gets kind of tiring, you know, hearing people like, y'all not good enough. Y'all are the team that, you know, nobody looks at. Like, you know, I want us to all come together and, you know, use that as motivation and, you know, just let God take care of everything else, because if we do it like that, like, then we'll be a team that people talk about.
Hey, much more of that interview, Bijan and KP, on Fox Local app or on your smart TV. We got more to come on Early Birds, but first, the man in the hoodie might have North Carolina sweating. DJ and Michael Jenkins get you ready for the college football Saturday ahead. Plus,
Mike 5'5", Mike 5'5". That's cool.
Caden Ellis will tell you how a Saints legend, don't throw anything on the TV when I say that, welcomed him to the NFL. That's when we go deep.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of your Atlanta Falcons, and sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds. It's not Saturday down south without talking college football. Get ready to fire up the grill. Here's Shock.
Week one finally in the books. Now we get into week two. My man Jake is back to talk more college football. Jake, first off, before we get into any other things, Dogs, Jackets both got big wins last week. Anything surprise you from either of those games?
Jack is going on the road and playing well in Boulder. That was a great win for Coach Key and that staff and that team. So excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, Haynes can't kick that up because he looked a little.
That was a lot. That's a lot for him to do the rest of the season. So they got to get some other guys to help him out.
All right, Jay, we finally saw the much anticipated debut for Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels, and that didn't go ideal for them. No. What did you take away from their week one loss? I know there's a lot to take away, but what were some of the things that stuck out to you about that loss to TCU?
It just wasn't a Bill Belichick look coach team. Yeah. I mean, a lot of missed tackles, mishandling of the football, penalties, and we talked about it earlier. 70 new guys, transfers on this team that's trying to get under Coach Belichick's way. So they got a lot of work to do.
Do you think they got the talent, or you think they still a couple years away from trying to create what they need?
After what we saw, it feels like they're a couple years away. But fortunately for them, their schedule was kind of favorable. They only play like Clemson as a big name, no Florida State, no Miami, no Georgia Tech. So they can still turn things around just after one game.
Hey, here's Belichick on what went wrong for them last Monday night.
You know, we played competitively, but then just couldn't sustain it. So obviously we have a lot of work to do. You know, we need to do a better job all the way around, coaching, playing. Just wasn't up to what it needs to be, and I know we're a lot better than that. They just outplayed us, they outcoached us. I mean, they were just better than we were tonight. That's all there was to it.
Point blank to the point right there. All right, Jake, one team that did impress was the University of South Florida, who beat Boise State 34-7 in dominating fashion. And one guy who was a big part of that was wide receiver Keyshawn Singleton, and he is our Chick-fil-A made in Georgia player. Singleton had 5 catches for 93 yards and 1 touchdown. And, he's averaging 18.6 yards per reception. Went to Meadowbrook High School.
Okay.
He will need another big game against Florida today if they have any chance of making it interesting. Jake, after what we saw last week with South Florida, did they show you anything that would give Florida something to fear?
I think so. I mean, when you beat a team, no matter if they're good or not with preseason rankings, you beat a ranked team. So now your confidence level is a lot higher, especially going to Florida. They're another ranked opponent that you have to face. So they have to be riding a high wave of saying, hey, we can go out and get this done.
2 quarterbacks in this game is going to be fun to watch. That guy right there, Byron, was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he's really good. You got to be what he can do right there with his legs and then also throwing the ball down the field. So him and Lagway is going to be a good show.
Ooh, Gators head coach Billy Napier had some really nice things to say about the Bulls QB, Byron Brown.
Big physical player, will drop his pads. Man, he's tackling him. There's some physical things that come with that. I think he does break tackles. He has the ability to outrun angles, and he has arm talent. This is a team, not just a one quarterback show here.
Oh, we got to see what Justin has to say about that. I think he might be a little nervous. We'll see. All right, we'll take the biggest game of the night goes down in Norman, Oklahoma, between the Sooners and some team for I don't know what reason. You cannot say their name, but I can.
No,
the
I
Michigan Wolverines. Battle of 2 really good QBs. Which QB do you think has to play better, and which team do you think has the edge?
Oh, that's tough on both sides because, Underway, you want him to play big, his first big road game tonight.
Yeah.
And then, you look at Oklahoma, like they've been on the struggle bus the last couple of years, only 6 wins, so they get the transfer from Washington State. You want him to play well in a big game at home for them. So we're going to see who makes the least mistakes for their team to win.
Who do you got, Jake? Can you say it?
Really?
Can you say
really
it?
Just ask me that?
Yes. Who you got?
I can't go with the team up north. So I see Oklahoma winning. They're favored. They're winning.
Here's Michigan head coach Sharon Moore on big games like this.
I think you have to have matchups like this in college football. 2 blue blood programs going at it on a national stage. It's college game day. It's why you come to Michigan. It's probably why you go to Oklahoma. Those are the type of games that you want to be a part of and games you remember.
Jake, what was your record against those guys up north?
It was 2-2.
2-2. You said that really low, like you didn't want to answer. Jake, appreciate all the insight, man. We look forward to that great wisdom you have all year long. Justin, do you approve of what Jinx said about the UCF and Gators game?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I approve of. You guys are right that I'll be nervous all day. I was nervous when Florida's playing Long Island next week, but hopefully it'll be a good one to look forward to. Guys, thank you so much. Well, this year on Going Deep, we're asking Falcons players, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? Warning in advance, somebody's about to say nice things about a player from the Saints, but I think you'll like it anyway. Caden Ellis started his career lining up across from a future Hall of Famer at New Orleans practices, and he explains in this week's Going Deep.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Drew Brees miking me in practice.
And that could be it for the great and future Hall of Famer.
So it wasn't like it wasn't one of those like you got burned, but it was just like I was out there against Drew. Mike 5'5", Mike 5'5". That's cool.
Will he get it here? Yes! Touchdown pass, 540 in the 504.
It was probably just a basic runner pass protection, had no significance, but to the little kid that's been watching Drew for forever, it was like, dang, I'm on the field with Drew Brees right now. That's pretty cool.
That's a really cool story. Well, one of the guys that Caden's defense will try and slow down tomorrow, Mike Evans, 13 career touchdowns against Atlanta. DJ's in the film room breaking down how to slow down Big Mike after the break.
Made in Georgia is presented by Chick-fil-A. We're getting your Saturday started right. Early Birds is back in a moment. It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room. So cut the lights and let's get started.
There's one guy that we all know has been doing it for a very long time, and that is this guy. You talking about Mike Evans. Let's talk about a couple plays, how they try to get him open and how they do it by formation. They put him in a slot. They do a lot of great jobs with him. Here's Mike Evans in the slot. What he's going to run is an in cut here. What they do is they do a really good job of forcing the impact, forcing for these guys to get open. They create the windows here. That creates a huge lane right in the middle of the field to throw this football. So as it starts, you can see he's in the slot. Now they push that void open, and here's a huge lane for him to throw the football to. These are the type of plays they use for Mike Evans to try to get him open by alignment and assignment. Let's go to another play here where they do a really good job of it as well too. Here's Mike Evans over here in the slot over here. What they do is they put a lot of pressure on the defense here. They're in cover 2, but watch this guy. This guy's going to take this safety out of it. So as he takes the safety out of it, now Mike Evans runs like a little corner, then post here, back up, and it creates the avenue where he's wide open. They put a lot of pressure on defense with this, and look how open he is. Unbelievable job of getting him open, but the way they do it, Justin, is really fun to watch. But I hope they don't do this versus our Falcons on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Slowing down Mike Evans, never easy. Here's another matchup we're going to be watching. The strength of the Bucs defense, the big men in the middle, Vita Vea in particular, but also Kalijah Cansey is tough. DJ, I know this is a matchup, the inside guys that you're going to be watching.
I am. I usually don't pay a lot of attention to it, but when it's up the middle, it's a huge deal. Chris Lindstrom has to have a big day. But also, you're talking about the inside, Bergeron. And, it's going to be fun to watch that inside battle, see if those guys have a chance to block him up, because if you don't, that puts a lot of pressure on Michael Penix Jr. Here's Chris Lindstrom, who has had plenty of battles with Vita Vea.
He's just one of the most powerful guys in the NFL. He's one of the best nose guards in the NFL, and he does a great job being really disruptive in the run game and pushing the pocket in the pass game. So, he's one.